to take it again.
Showcase business people, showcase our culture, showcase our background, showcase people who are working with Africans, showcase people who are working for Africa.
This Time Africa showcases people who are working for Africans, by Africans, with Africans. For short, This Time Africa is the place to go when you want to talk about Africa. The question always is, what's on this time?
Showcase people who are working by Africans, showcase investors, our young generation. Eastern African showcases African entrepreneurship.
This Time Africa, welcome again to the show that brings the people to you and the business to you. Tonight, the clock face is Sierra Leone, where I'm talking to members of the Tegloma Federation. And I have the honor to present to all of you in the presence of Mr. Victor Tamo, who is the chairman of the 50th Planning Committee, Mr. Michael George, who is the chairman, Federation Administration. Some people could not be here, but I will mention their names later on. We also have with us Dr. John Sandi, who is the president, Washington, D.C. chapter, and is the host for the 50th anniversary. Among the founding fathers, one was able to make it tonight, and that's in the person of Mr. Moinina Sawi, the founding father. Those who could not make it are Dr. Lansana Nyale and Alaji Sheku Terawali and Mr. Ernest Pika Nyande. Gentlemen, I want to welcome to This Time Africa with Sia. Would you like to greet the people, please? Mr. John Sandi, can you start by greeting the viewers and listeners?
Yes, thank you very much, Sia. I'm glad to be here.
Mr. Victor Tamo.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be here.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Sawi.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm happy to be here and alive to see this occasion.
To see the 50 years. We'll get into that. Yes. Mr. Michael George.
Thank you, Sia, for having me. And I say hi to everybody, our viewers.
All right, so the viewers and listeners, this is This Time Africa. And again, like I said, we are speaking with members of the Tegloma Federation, one of the largest, one of the most formidable, one of the most enterprising organizations that make up the Sierra Leone community. And we're going to go straight into it because we are about to celebrate 50 years. But before we get into 50 years, can somebody just take me through the journey of what influenced Tegloma? What motivated you 50 years ago to form this organization?
Who wants to go first?
Well, you are the only founding father here, so
okay.
I guess you can give us the history.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sanga. Thank you very, very much for doing this. And I'm very, very happy to see this moment. This is 50 years. It's not 50 days or 50 months. It is. And anybody that was there when Tegloma was founded and is still alive today should be very thankful to the Lord. Many people were there, almost 20 people. And today, there are only few of us alive. Whenever I think of it, I almost shed tears. So all these people all grew up together. Today they are gone, and they are not fortunate to see this. God, I pray that you bless them wherever they are. You bless their spirit, and let their spirit be with us. Yeah. So we came here in the 70s. That was the time the politics in Sierra Leone was very toxic. People were leaving the country. I came here in 1971. When we came here in Washington, where the Sierra Leone embassy was, we were scared to go there because we were not recognized. And that was the only place of refuge for students, especially most of the people here who came on student visas. So the embassy was a place of refuge, but we were not welcome there. And at that time, the Timinis had their Sakoma organization, very big one. The Creoles have theirs, Rokel. The Cambia people had theirs, they call it KDDA. The Kono people had theirs. Well, the Mendes, nothing. Because we are scared to gather together. They didn't even want to recognize us. Only one diplomat accommodated us at that time. That was Pakoka, Teacher Koka, formerly a teacher in both school and later on school superintendent or school administrator in Sierra Leone. He was sent here because he was sick, had problem, and this was the only place they could have a battery in his heart, and he was able to live for a long time. We could meet him, we could meet at his house, his residence on weekends. So when we met, somebody came from California, a gentleman called Daniel Vande, so rest in peace. He came and met his colleagues, like Mr. Vande Senesi, who is now the oldest, but is no longer a member of Tegloma. But he was the beginner. So he had a contact with Mr. Daniel Vande, and Mr. Daniel Vande asked him, he said, gentlemen, I'm just coming from California. In California, there's a small group of us. We gather together to celebrate the independence of Sierra Leone on small occasions. So what do you have here? I'm new in Washington. And he said, we don't have anything. So he called us. I received a call from Mr. Vande Senesi. He said, there is a meeting. I want you all to come. At that time, I was living with Anes Pekanyande, Safa Lahai, may his soul rest in peace. Momo Dasama, may his soul rest in peace. And Joanna Sawi, may his soul rest in peace. Then, and myself. So we went there one Saturday, and we met Mr. Daniel Vande. And there were also other people who they invited. And the gentleman asked, he said, what are you doing here? Don't you have anything to celebrate? Then we started talking about politics. He said, no, don't be scared. You are in the United States. Chakasibi has nothing, cannot do anything to you. There's somebody said, what about our people over there? Because we just witnessed Mafanta incident where they arrested all our senior Mende people in the country and imprisoned them. They didn't do anything. But he declared the state of emergency wherein they can arrest you without charge. Some people got sick there. They came, they were just dying one after the other. We don't want to jeopardize them. He said, no, let us gather. We're not talking politics. We're just there to help. So we all agreed. In August of 1975, we had several meetings, about 4 meetings every Saturday. Then at the tail end of September, we formally organized a meeting. What is it today? Tegloma. We name it, and then we move on. The motivations were, one, at that time in the US, especially in the Eastern Coast, immigration was very, very active in deporting people. Philadelphia, Washington, all these major cities. Some people moved. Those people who were living, a lot of people were living in Philadelphia. Most of them moved to New York and Boston. Some moved here in Washington. In fact, no, Washington was very careful because this is the seat of government. But we were here, and they were doing it, deporting people. So he said, when we join together, if anything happens to any one of us, we can all come together to join. So that was one motive, to help people at least get a lawyer to defend somebody who is being arrested or who was being arrested.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the other motive was, if you have any problem like paying your rent, we can come together to rescue you. Then another thing was to gather, to meet every month so that we will know what was going on in everybody's household. Because most of us were students and very few people were married. I was married at that time, so my wife happened to be a member because of me. And the law was, if you are a member and you are married, your wife was an automatic member, will not pay any dues. So my wife was because of me. If I'm going too much, you can stop me anytime.
No.
So we formed, now it came to naming the organization. So the day came and the gentleman, Mr. Vandy, late Mr. Vandy, Mr. Daniel Vandy, as he said, now we are all agreed to form an organization, but we don't have a name. Somebody got up and say, Sierra Leone Social Association, Sierra Leone Social Association, many of them. Then he said, no, this is a Mende organization. You guys are scared. We are in America. We are protected. Let us be visible. So we want a Mende name. So when he said that, we all sat down very quiet. Nobody could talk. And I was afraid to talk. So slowly, I raised my hand up because I had a name. And they recognized me. When they recognized me, before even I spoke, they all were looking at me as if I had committed a crime.
Mm-hmm.
They were so anxious to hear what I had in mind. I raised my hand, and they were all quiet. I said, what about Tegloma? Then the room was quiet. Very, very quiet. Then somebody said, I said, that is good. Oh, I think that's acceptable. That's good. And everybody just accepted the name.
So you were actually, Mr. Moinin Asawi, you were actually the brain behind that name, the name that we know today, 50
Yes.
years ago, now called Tegloma.
Yes.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I'm glad
Yes.
that you have
I
you.
don't tell people about that because to me that was it. I don't tell people.
It's important.
Yes. So when I name it, no other name was suggested. It was readily accepted. Then, but I didn't take. It was, to me, it wasn't really much. But it is only today that people recognize it. But then, after a while, the man who made the first constitution for us, not constitution, a preamble, he wrote it with a pen. He brought it to the second meeting. He formed a cabinet in his mind. So he just appointed. This was Dr. William Kalong. You know, the younger brother.
I'm going to ask you to hold your thought right there because I want to throw it to the other members of the panel to be able to know. So you were the brain behind the name, which is really has, just taken a whole, run around the world.
Yes.
What is the meaning of that? Since it's a local dialect name, what is the meaning of that name?
Tegloma means going forward, progress, anything that is uplifting. That was it.
All right, great. And you said, so it was more about getting together and having self-identity of a group of people who probably thought that they were marginalized. Am I saying it right?
Yes.
Victor,
Yes.
Michael, or John, you can jump in?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. So Tegloma really has been and continues to be a community organization that provides support to its members. Just like the founding father, Mr. Sawi, has said, at the time, Sierra Leone had only one political party at the time, the All People's Congress. So no other parties were encouraged, and there was no multi-party system. So they were young guys in the United States, came here to study, but they had the feeling to help one another, and there was no assistance from the embassy. So this was a way to kind of help each other without necessarily going to the embassy for assistance.
And that is really, I mean, I must applaud you guys, because that was a time when a lot of people were into their own various cocoons because they couldn't really come out to
Yes.
do things.
Yes.
And to say things. So what fueled the fire? Meaning, how did this take off? How did people feel? Mr. Moinina, maybe you want to come in on
Yes.
what fueled the fire?
When we formed the organization, it was underground. But when we started coming up above ground, we started approaching some other Mende people in the Washington area. Some of them were saying, "Oh, you want me to join that group so that they will report me in Sierra Leone and people go after my parents and so forth?" I said, "We are there already. Nothing that has happened." And that still did not convince them. There were some people who came to join us later saying we were villagers. That was the most painful thing, especially me. They call me a villager. Come here to bring Mende the village idea here, to create chiefdoms, paramount chief, and all this. So we are villagers. Yes. I said, look, what is wrong with that? I said, we have come to America. We see these groups. You see the Spanish people, they have festivals. They dance. They sing. They're merengue. We see the Irish people, St. Patrick's Day, they celebrate it. The Jewish people, what is wrong if we do that? So call us villagers, but we are all learning. We are all in universities. So if you call us villagers, you say, can you believe these people after Tegloma has been really moving up, they came and joined us, and I was pointing to them. I said, if I have the power, you will not join. So some of them.
That's okay.
Because they ridicule me. In the public, they call me, hey, Tegloma, hey, Tegloma. That's how they call me.
And to interject, to just add a word or two to what Mr. Sawis is saying. Even up to now, as chairman of the federation, we have people who are still thinking that Tegloma is a Mende organization, and they look at us like, especially people from the other tribes, when they see us, even me, some of my friends refer to me as Mr. Tegloma. In that kind of sarcastic way, they call me Mr. Tegloma, of which I have no apology being a Mende or being a part of Tegloma. Seriously. But it's still going on. That stigma is still going on that Mende people, the Tegloma name is for villagers, people who like Chief Sawi is saying, at that time, they never wanted to come out to identify themselves with the Mende tribe or the Mende tradition. But I have no apology. I'm proud of being a Mende, and I want to stay a Tegloma person. You can call me whatever, but it's okay.
And thank you very much for saying that.
Yeah,
so,
if I may comment.
Yes, go ahead, Uncle Victor.
Yeah. Like the founding father stated, the idea actually came up from Mende people to bring them together so that they can support and comfort each other.
Yes.
But over the years, the magnanimity of the Mende culture as a whole has allowed the Tegloma to bring in other people who are from other tribes, and they are treated equally like us. They take official positions, they become chapter chiefs, and so on. For instance, this very Washington, D.C. chapter, the outgone vice president of the chapter is a Timney.
Yes.
You know?
And
so,
a woman.
Yeah, and a woman, you know. So Tegloma has actually had that record of being receptive to other cultures besides Mende culture.
So in actual fact, what you're saying is that over the years, you've broken the barriers.
Yeah.
You've
Yes.
broken the barriers and the what you call it, what were people's thoughts, the stereotype that they had for Tegloma. You've broken the barriers, and now people are interested because you're a formidable organization.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm hearing from
that is true.
yeah. So
Yeah, so
are the core values, the core values of this organization? What would you say are the core values?
Can I come in?
Yes, please.
Yes. When Tegloma was initially formed, everything was about Mende. I have no apology for that too. Even the minute, in fact, okay, when we met, the final meetings, we had several meetings in August and 2 weeks in September. I think the last Saturday was when we actually formally established Tegloma. The man, Professor Calon, wrote our preamble on one page, and he named the cabinet that very day. He named Mr. Daniel Vandy, the man who brought the idea from California, as the chairman, said, because you initiated this.
He had the vision, yeah.
Then he named Mr. Vandy Tennessee, who is residing in Maryland, in Bowie, as the financial secretary and treasurer. He named Anes Pekanyande, publicity secretary. He named Late Safala High, secretary general. And he named me recording secretary, that's to take minutes, and to call. At that time, we have to call. When there was a meeting, we didn't have any specific date or day at that time. He said, whenever there's a meeting, you, the recording secretary, have to call. Once you are giving the order that there's a meeting in the location, you call everybody. And I was doing it. I did it for 5 years. I was writing the minutes and reading the minutes. But what was so difficult for me, I was mandated to write the minutes and read it in Mende by force. You try that. You are laughing. You try that if it is easy. I was struggling. I did it for 3 years. So one day, one of the elders said, please let us leave him now. You know, we all can do it just like that. When you write your English, you read it fluently in a short while. This guy struggles with the Mende because they wanted me to read the minute. And I did it for 3 years.
I must applaud you for that. I must applaud you. But see where we are at today, where everybody wants to be in a place where they belong. We're at a place now in society where everybody wants to have a kind of recognition to their own community. And hence the fact, a lot of people know me as Dr. Matilda, but I have chosen in the past, since my father died, to change my names around from Matilda to Sia Matilda, because I want to be associated to my native village, if they want to call it that way. I want to hear my name and to go back to my foundation. So the times have changed. Times have really, really changed. And I must applaud you for taking that step to write in Mende and to read in Mende. But let's move forward a little bit. I am sure that it's not being easy over the years to bring Tegloma from that small round table to where we are at today. And maybe we'll talk about it some other time. But apart from the challenges that you had, which were tribal and political, did you think that some of your own tribes people had a problem with that? Were there any challenges like within? Oh no, or they were all looking for maybe looking for an opening to just belong?
Well, for us, it's by bringing other tribes in, it started with marriage. When you get married to anybody, that wife is automatic member.
Yes.
That's how women of different or men of different. When finally we started accepting women as members, if they are married to Timini Kono, automatically they come. Some of them will come, some of them will not be comfortable, but we started opening the door little by little. But before, it was strictly Monday.
So, Uncle Victor, would you say your biggest challenge was what in the earlier years?
People were scared that somebody might come and lie on us that we are organizing subversive groups against the government in Sierra Leone.
Okay.
At that time, some people were paid to give reports over there, especially demonstrations from, there's UN meetings every September. So people would like to organize. So they were actually scared of that because you can see any opposition inside and outside Sierra Leone.
So there was the fear of being associated with
we are not,
that will lead to demonstrations and stuff. Okay,
yes.
Go ahead.
That is why Tegloma survived today. It was strictly non-political. And luckily, nothing happened to any one of us because we avoided politics in our meeting. If you are at APC, you're an SAPP, you can be, but not a member of Tegloma. You don't bring that in. We never had any agenda item where they say politics in Israel. Nothing. We remain very civil and non-governmental intervention.
We remain very single and non-governmental, non-political organization. I hope tonight I'm speaking with members of Tegloma Federation. This is here at this time, Africa.
Showcase politicians, showcase business people, showcase our culture, showcase our background, showcase people who are working with Africa.
We showcase people who are from Africa working for Africans by Africans. And tonight the clock faces against Sierra Leone, where I'm speaking with members of Tegloma Federation. I'm speaking with Mr. Victor Tamo, Dr. John Sandi, Mr. Moinina Sawi, the chairman of the Federation Administration, Mr. Michael Judge. Let's move forward a little bit now that we have a little story behind Tegloma. Let's move forward. And I see that over the years, there has been a diversity of intergenerational connections. So which means that Mr. Moinina Sawi, after you, there have been other people, younger in age who are coming up. How would you describe the successes of Tegloma thus far? And I want to throw that question to Ms. Dr. John Sandi. You are president of Washington, D.C. Chapter. And it's very important because there's a diversity of age. Mr. Michael George, I would also like you to talk about it. And Mr. Victor Tamo.
So over the years, Tegloma has actually opened up and has welcomed Sierra Leoneans, initially Sierra Leoneans from other ethnicities in Sierra Leone. So it was opened up. I guess they wanted the organization to be very much inclusive and very democratic. So they opened up other ethnicities to join. And then later on, the constitution was revised and they opened it up even to other nationalities as long as we had a similar cultural background. So you could be from another country, but as long as it's an African country with similar background, Tegloma will accept your membership application. So this is what has happened over the years to the point that the membership of Tegloma has now grown exponentially to the point that we have members now from countries like Liberia, Cameroon, Ghana, Togo, and all these other countries. So the diversity of Tegloma.
Hold on a second, Dr. Sandy. So are you saying there has been a collaboration with other organizations, or people actually become members of Tegloma from those countries?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, there is collaboration, and people from those countries are now members of Tegloma. Like the founding father said, primarily it was through marriages. Like the former president of Tegloma in Washington, D.C., Mr. Yopwe Alpha, is from Sierra Leone. His wife is a Ghanaian, and the wife has been a Tegloma member for a very long time. Our board chairman, Mr. Alhassan Kurma, is married to a Hispanic lady, and she has been a very active Tegloma member. So we have this diversity through marriage, but then we have other members that have joined Tegloma not by marriage, but they just like the activities when they attend Tegloma functions. Like our picnics are open to the community. So they come there, they enjoy themselves, they say, oh, this is really nice, I like to be part of this organization. And then they put in their application.
Great. I love to hear that. I love to hear that. So
Yeah.
I don't know, where's my membership? I should have been in this long time ago. I want my honorary membership this weekend when we meet.
Well, Matilda, at the convention, hopefully we can make you an honorary member.
You have to. I mean, I'm not even begging. This time
No. Yeah,
I need
you
to
will.
be all honorary member of the
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, going back to your question, Matilda.
Yes.
You see, why Tegloma is going forward, like the name implies, where we're moving forward is dependent on so many factors.
Okay.
If we reflect on what the founding father said, Chief Monina Sawi said, the past was very rough for Southeasterners. It was really, really rough. If you sit down and reflect, we're talking about 50th anniversary. We're going to celebrate. But during the celebration, we need to sit down and reflect on what those people went through in the 70s, how they were marginalized, how things were going on in those days. So because of those reasons, people have thought of Tegloma, and they're still thinking of Tegloma as an organization that has stability. We have survived this far because we are stabilized, and we are building on the foundation that the founding fathers laid. So administration after administration, we are not turning our backs on what those people went through. We are appreciating them in some kind of way. That's why we make sure that Tegloma will celebrate its 50th anniversary and we'll move on. And not only that, we have done a lot in our local communities here. People admire Tegloma. Here in the US and around the world, Tegloma has been working. We've been engaged in our local communities, like Dr. Sandy said, during picnics, during festival, Sierra Leone anniversary, independence anniversary. We've been doing what we think we should do to attract friends, to attract colleagues, and people who are non-Sierra Leoneans, in fact. You see, so what we've been doing in our local communities and what we've done in Sierra Leone during the Ebola, during the mudslide, during the war, resonates with people up to this moment. So they appreciate us. They appreciate Tegloma. That's why Tegloma is strong and is being admired.
Thank you. And I want to say, beyond just the social gathering, you have just highlighted some of the things that I saw on your website. You played a very great part when we had Ebola in Sierra Leone. I saw that. Yes. So what are some of the highlights, apart from the Ebola and the social gatherings? What are some of the highlights that somebody should be looking for that Tegloma has achieved over the years? We're going to talk about 50 years, but I want us to give the listeners and the viewers something that they can say, oh, this is what Tegloma has done.
Okay, so let me speak to that, Dr. Sandy. So one of the things that we do that is really remarkable and very impressive is that, year after year, for example, in Washington, D.C., we send bags of rice to Sierra Leone to our family members. I remember a young man came to join Tegloma here in the United States, and he told us this story that before he came to the United States, he was looking forward to that Tegloma rice we send like hundreds of bags or thousands of bags of rice. So he said, I think during the war, when there was really hunger throughout the country, but Tegloma used to send rice. Like they would stand in a line to receive this Tegloma rice. So he said, oh, when I came to the United States, I was looking for this organization because I was able to survive through those hunger periods because of the rice that was coming from Tegloma, So year after year, we send rice to Tegloma, and I think we've been sending to like 5 major cities. This year, we expanded it. We are now sending to Freetown, Moyamba, Bo, Kenema, Kailan, Daru, year after year. So that is one thing that has really been very remarkable. And people in Sierra Leone know about Tegloma because of that rice that we send. The other thing that we have done that is really remarkable is because as Africans who come from challenging backgrounds, we don't have this generational wealth that passes along from generation to generation. So what we have done over the years is to encourage our children to remain focused in education. So we celebrate our graduates from kindergarten to elementary school, to middle school, to high school, to various colleges, all institutions of learning. So every year, we hold a graduation ceremony where we ask members to contribute money that we put in small envelopes and give to all the graduates as a token, just to encourage and motivate them so that they can remain focused and get the best possible education. Because where we came from, even the founding fathers, they came to this country to further their education. So it is something that we promote. We continue to motivate and inspire our younger generations to remain focused and pursue their education, because we know through a solid education, they'll be able to get sustainable jobs, to take care of themselves and hopefully take care of the parents in their retirement age.
Great. Great.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me just add
Somebody
one more
wanted
thing.
to add. Is that Uncle Victor who wanted to add?
Yes, I want to add to that.
Yes.
In addition to what the chief just said, we have also been engaged in giving scholarships to children going to school in Sierra Leone. That was a yearly event, and we have been doing that up until the free quality education came in.
Yes.
And we used to give those scholarships indiscriminately. Okay. It did not matter whether you are Mende or non-Mende, but we even used to give scholarships to people in northern province districts. Okay. So that's how, that's one of the things that we have done to influence Sierra Leone.
And let me just add one major thing, Sia, if you don't mind.
Sure, please.
I'm glad this came up. One of the major highlights, probably the most remarkable highlights of Tegloma, since Tegloma was formed, happened in my state of Georgia, where I live, about 16 years ago, coming this weekend, it will be 16 years. One of my members, a young man at the age of 40 at that time, was dying of liver disease, and he needed a liver transplant. So what I did, at that time, I was the chapter president. I was the president of Tegloma, Georgia. I took permission from his mom. And we had a convention in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, that year. So I took permission that I should take him to the convention, and let's see if we can get help from the medical professionals amongst us. So the mom gave her blessing. She said, okay. I drove him. We didn't even fly. I drove him from Atlanta to Columbus, Ohio. And it is customary that in every convention, chapter presidents, chapter chiefs should give their report, should give the chapter reports. So my report was based on this guy's situation. The guy's name is Paul Commander. He's Paul Commander, a very young man, very vibrant in my chapter at that time, and he's still vibrant. So during my speech, I introduced him to the convention, and everybody was emotional. Because when you look at him, you can tell that he was overpowered by whatever situation he found himself in. And the convention came to a standstill. What we did was we did a fundraising event for him. In less than 20 minutes, we were able to raise close to $2,000.
Wow.
That, yeah, in less than 20 minutes, we were able to raise close to $2,000 that we have to put into his account, because those who are medical professionals at that time advised me that when we go back to Georgia, we should find ways and means to bring him up onto the priority list. It should be a priority on that list, on the donor list. And also we should have money in his account, so in case he gets an organ, they find a donor for him, there'll be money in his account for medication, because the hospital might not want to provide organ, and then there is no way we can get his medication to upkeep him. So we came back to Georgia. We did another fundraising, and that fundraising was attended by the late Steady Bongo, Vicky Fona, Big Joe, who is now in Canada, and so many local artists, Sri Lankan artists. We raised substantial amount of money on his behalf. And I went all out, looked around the community, looked out for Georgia doctors that are Sri Lankans. I talked to them, they got involved, and one of them was Dr. Barry, a Sri Lankan who worked for CDC at that time. And he worked for Emory University also. So he talked to his colleagues at Emory for Paul to be placed on priority list. They did that, and in less than 2 weeks, they found him an organ in Florida. They brought the organ, they did his transplant, and a Nigerian doctor, a pharmacist, we call him Dr. Laga, a Nigerian pharmacist, volunteered to give him his medication, all the medications that he will need. That's how fortunate that young man was. And up till today, Paul is alive. He's with us. And he'll be in Washington. He's coming to Washington. Probably you'll be able to meet him and we talk to him a little bit. So in a Ugandan professor, Dr. Nabanji, told me he is a member of Tegloma, Georgia. He told me, he said, Chief George, he said Tegloma has done something. I quote him. He said Tegloma has done something that any other African organization has not done before. For a member to get to be a recipient, to get an organ that quick. He said no other organization, since he's been in this country, he said no other African organization has achieved that. So yeah, it's one of the major highlights of Tegloma. We've done something for our own members, and we're doing things for our communities, and we keep to do it. We are very proud of that, and we hope we don't have to face that kind of situation anytime soon. But if it comes our way, we'll handle it. And quite recently, one of our members also in Philadelphia, DVC.
Philadelphia, yes.
Yeah, Kini Masakoi.
Okay.
She needed a kidney transplant. The organization Tegloma came together. We raised funds, and she went to Turkey and did a transplant. She's back and she's doing well. So we look out for our members. We're not just here just to party or hold stuff around. No, we make sure we're looking out for one another.
So it's not just education, it's not just the health, it's the tie that binds one person to another that makes this organization called Tegloma a great one. By the way,
Yes.
you are watching and listening to This Time Africa with me, Sia. If you'd like to contact us, the number is 571-405-8621. Just before we take this short break, I want to let you know something is going to happen in Washington, D.C. and Maryland very soon, this weekend. But let's take a short break.
Showcase people who are working for Africa. Showcase people who are working by Africa. Showcase investors, our young generation. Eastern African. Showcase African entrepreneurship. Eastern African.
This Time Africa showcases tonight Sierra Leone Tegloma Federation. We have 50 years to celebrate. On what days? Somebody tell us, why should I be there? Why should somebody be there? What are the expectations? Let's talk about it. All four of you, let's hear. I am sure that Mr. Moini Nasawi, you must be excited because from the cradle to 50 years, I'm sure that you are feeling the jingles and the butterflies all over you. What do you have to say?
Oh, thank you very much. Over the years, I am proud to explain what Tegloma, Washington, D.C. has done. You know, immigration was a devil that you don't want it appear to you. But it affected a lot of members, our members. Tegloma had a policy that when somebody got involved in an immigration crisis, since it is so scary for anybody to come to your assistance, Tegloma would give you any amount of money that was a bond placed on you. Tegloma was ready to give that money immediately. And we did that many times. There are a lot of people who have now left Tegloma who are still there. They owe us Tegloma. I know them all because I have attended that meeting.
Well, that's okay. That's what family is for. We owe each other.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure that you are excited. Yes.
But they were supposed to pay back after everything. There was no timeline. There was no interest.
That's what family is for.
Some paid back. Yeah. Some paid back and some didn't pay. And some of them are still there. I see them.
But that's what family is for. That's what family is for. Yes. That's so Mr. Sawi, that's what family is for.
Yes.
And that's why we are excited for this weekend coming up. I'm sure that you as a founding father, you are excited because you can now see your baby 50 years old. What are the expectations? And Mr. Chairman, you are the host chair, Mr. Sandi, and Uncle Victor, you are the chairman and the federation. What do we hope to see at 50 years of Tegloma?
So first of all, I want to acknowledge the Federation administration because this annual conventions really is within their jurisdiction. Okay. So the Federation chairman, Mr. Michael George, recognized the fact that it all started here in Washington, D.C. So he gave us that opportunity to be the host for this 50-year celebration. And leading into the convention that starts tomorrow, in my capacity as president, I declared the week leading to the convention as Founding Fathers Week, to celebrate our founding fathers, to reflect on the good things that they have done, to reflect on their vision, and we are coming together this weekend because of that vision. So it's really been a reflection of our past, and we are now looking forward to the future. So we're going to discuss some of the things that we hope to accomplish so that this legacy will continue for Tegloma to be around for another 50 plus years. So as a matter of fact, we're going to, on Sunday, we're going to have a federation election. So we're going to have a new federation chairman that will continue the legacy of Mr. Michael George so that we continue to, to take Tegloma to higher heights.
Yeah, and if I may,
thank you very much.
If I may come in there.
You are the chairman, the committee for the 50 years. What would you have to say to people to let them show up there? What are the expectations?
The expectations are numerous.
Okay.
But one of the things about Tegloma's gatherings, especially the conventions, is that whenever you go there, there is a very high possibility of meeting somebody whom it has taken maybe 10, 15, 20 years you have not met. So that is an arena where you are going to meet people who you have not met for very, very long. Some are family members, some are old schoolmates. So that is going to happen. But the whole thing starts tomorrow with what we call meet and greets. Tomorrow, Thursday, that's the arrival, people coming from the different states. By the way, we have 13 active chapters.
I was going to ask that, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
By the way, we have 13 active chapters, and people are coming, according to the list Dr. Sandy has, I believe every chapter pledged to come. So we are going to get all of them present here. So we'll start with the meet and greet, and in that meet and greet evening, it's usually getting to familiarize yourself with each other.
I heard about the goat pepper soup already. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss it.
Of course, there will be goat pepper soup. And then after that, in the meet and greet, what we usually do is we have like a mini party,
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we'll have. That's what is going to be like the activities for Thursday. Okay. And then on Friday, we go into convention day one. We have a convention where we have different speakers from the different chapters. And also, when we take a break, we are going to have a sightseeing for those people who have never been to Washington, D.C. and have taken this opportunity. And the chief has already made arrangements for that activity. So that will cover the Friday during the day. And in the evening on Friday, we have another set of activities. We are having elections coming on Sunday. And Tegloma is a very democratic organization. So we do the electioneering democratically. We have planned to have what they call a manifesto night on that Friday, so that then there will, of course, be cultural activities. Even on that Thursday, there's going to be cultural dance. On the Friday again, after the manifesto night, there's going to be another cultural performance. Then Saturday, we go into convention day 2, and also the early part of it, we are going to start with Thanksgiving. We are going to give thanks to God for having brought us this far. And we usually do it ecumenically. We have Muslims and Christians. We give them equal slots of time. It's going to be 30 minutes each for them to pray for the organization and thank God for the organization. After that, we go into another set of discussions, after which we go into what we call a cultural show. We are going to have a Shobi parade from different chapters. People are going to showcase their Ashobis just like we do it back home. And not only that, we are going to have also several kinds of cultural masquerades. Not only Mende masquerades, we even have the Creole masquerade and the Timini masquerade coming to perform.
Yes.
So it's diverse.
It's diverse. That's Tegloma.
Yes, definitely. So
let
me just...
On Saturday night, we are going to give awards.
Okay.
Yeah, to the founding fathers and so many other people. And we have over 100 or so awards to give. Wow. And then following that is going to be the ball dance. And during that ball dance, we have pledged that there's going to be no talking.
Or less talking.
Okay.
So
all right. Go ahead, Mr.
Let me just add one thing to that comprehensive schedule that the chairman just spoke about. We also have Sierra Leone's ambassador to the United States, Ambassador Amara Sowa, is going to be our keynote speaker. So we plan to welcome him, to give him a grand welcome on Saturday, where he will be our keynote speaker. We initially were trying to get the president of Sierra Leone, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, but because of his schedule and the cost of him traveling with his entourage, we we could not afford his schedule and of course his time. So, but we were able to get the ambassador from Sierra Leone to the United States.
Okay.
Wow. An exciting thing to look at. Yes, Mr. Sawi.
Yes.
Yes, please, if you can excuse me, I want to go back to a little thing, something that Tegloma did that has not been recognized.
Okay.
And this, what I'm talking about, benefited the whole population of Sierra Leone.
Okay, great.
After the APC, the Civil War came to Sierra Leone. When the Civil War was going on, finally, Joseph Momo, the President Momo, declared multi-party system instead of the one-party system that had been in Sierra Leone for almost 17 years, or more than that, 20 years. So after the war, there was a peace talk that was started by Brigadier Julius Madabio. At that time, it was still military government. And what? NUP? What is it?
No, it's NPRC. NPRC. Yeah.
Wow. When there was this time for election, SFPP did not have anything, no money. We had some members who visited Sierra Leone that time, Christmas time. So they went to SFPP office. There were no chairs. They had a telephone, no fax. So, in fact, I won't talk about computer because computer was very scarce those days. So they came back. But luckily, we had this young man that was interested, Momo Dasama, late Momo Dasama. He asked them, give us a document, what you request, so that when we take this document, they will take us seriously. They will take the message seriously. And luckily, they gave in a document for appeal of fund. We gathered. It was a very popular request. We gathered, few of us gathered, said, look, we have money. We want to bring peace in Sierra Leone. We are not political, but let us do this so that there will be peace. We are desperate for peace. Quickly, we voted for 25,000. And somebody will take it by hand delivery. And a gentleman volunteered to do it. We went to a Tegloma meeting. It was very popular. Very, very popular. Somebody went, I went to the SFPP office where he met all these people and presented that money. And then we bought, besides the 25,000, we bought a Land Rover from the British Council, a used Land Rover. And we bought rice because at that time, the delegates from the provinces were flying by helicopter to Freetown because the vehicles they were supposed to travel were being hijacked. So we paid for that flight to bring and we lost them in Bintumani, and we paid for the Bintumani Hall. We did all that. And we had a very active gentleman say, look, we have been preparing money to help everybody. So let us close our eyes and spend this money. And we did. So SFPP won. But you know, some few guys left here to go there for jobs. But they were sent back. Because people like Prince Harding said people from the United States are failures, academic failures. That's what he campaigned on. And those guys returned with this heartbreak. Yes. But that we have never gotten that recognition. But we did that for peace in Sierra Leone. And peace came during Kaba's time. Peace came. We sent people to Kaba to present most of these things. The people and all that. We have never been recognized for that. But I just want to let you know.
No, that's very important. It's a very important part of not only the Tegloma story, but also the Sierra Leone story. And I always say there are hidden gems to every victory, hidden gems like some of us, me sitting here, and like Mr. Tama knows, I was behind radio FM 98.1. we were the ones that the guns were placed behind our neck. I assumed the name Sia Domingo, and not many people know that today. So these are the hidden gems. So Tegloma, an hidden gem like me, well, I mean, hey, should we be recognized? Yes, you guys did a great job, because after my position with 98.1, I worked for Tijan Kaba. And who knew? I never heard until today that was you guys were behind
Oh,
this
yes.
great, awesome support that you did to make Sierra Leone get the peace that we all are enjoying today. I mean, some of us were, like I said, had a gun behind our neck. We slept in the radio station for over 2 months. Nobody hears about all those hidden gems, but we played our role so that Sierra Leone can enjoy. And I'm glad that you had the opportunity to share the story. And that's what This Time Africa does. We bring out the stories that people need to hear, that they've not had an opportunity to hear. Gentlemen, we are about to wrap up, but I want to say, apart from all of the awards night and the dancing and all of that that is going to happen, what do you hope to achieve? What is this significant thing that you hope to achieve in these 50 years, the culmination of events to 50 years? What do you want to see moving forward?
Well, let me
If I
take that real
just
quick.
get one from each person,
Yeah.
as about to wrap up. Yes.
Yeah. As Federation chairman, we have gone too far. That had been my goal, since I took over in 2021, to make sure there is stability in Tegloma. Tegloma had been, at some point, very, 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 very toxic. I'm telling you this out of experience. At some point, Tegloma had been toxic, a lot of infighting. But since I took over, you will tell this coming weekend that Tegloma has stabilized, because the motivation is there. People are coming for this 50th anniversary. People have been sitting, who've been taking the back seat, who never wanted to probably come back to Tegloma, but they now energized to come. And that had been one of my goals, that Tegloma should be stabilized. There should be peace in this organization, and Tegloma should move forward, continue moving forward. We've done a lot, and we should not digress. We need to keep moving forward, make sure we are united. We are working together for the better good of our communities and our people back home in Sierra Leone. So you're going to see that this weekend, that Tegloma is really, really back.
We're going to see unity. We're going to see people coming together to continue in the goals and the visions that Tegloma had. We have not had time to go into all of that, but maybe as we go along in all the programs, we will after the after post event, we will talk about that. Anybody else wants to add?
Yes, I want to say something.
Yes, please.
One thing I believe we are going to get out of this 50th anniversary is it is going to increase motivation of the current members.
Okay.
And it is also going to result into an explosion of membership in the different chapters.
Okay.
Not only that, it may also result in the creation of new chapters.
Well, I'm in New York. Why not create one here? Do you have?
There is.
No, there's one. There's one in New York already.
I need to know who to link with after you recognize me as a member for the weekend. Go ahead, Uncle Victor.
Yeah. So those are the things I expect that we are going to come out with, and from this 50th anniversary, an explosion of membership and creation of new chapters in different areas, and also the motivation of the younger generation inside to step forward to leadership positions.
There you go.
We are already doing that in Washington, D.C.
Exactly.
We are encouraging the younger generation to step forward and take leadership position. You will see that in Washington, D.C., a lot of the executive members are young.
Great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think that's really, really poignant. Anybody else?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
What has made Tegloma survive all these years? Started from the beginning. When it was being founded, when it was founded, we had a lot of elderly people among us. We are the young people. That's 50 years ago. We are the youngest, myself, Anas Bekanyande, Mohamed Asamawad. You know, we had this Professor Kalon, Mr. Vandi Senesi, Mr. Daniel Vandi, John Pesima, who is now in Israel. He's living in Bo. What they emphasized was equality. Nobody above anybody.
That's good.
Once you join, your probation is over. Anybody that has been there 30 years, 40 years is not above you. We maintain that. That's why Tegloma is still very strong. And I want the future leaders to continue that. Because most of these other organizations that started or were in DC when we came up, they have all been extinct. Except the Kono, which is very fragile. But we are going up. We are moving up all the time because there is equality, respect, and no dominance above anybody. I want the future leaders or current leaders to continue that. That has kept us alive. You don't want to come to a place where you have devils above you. No, we have to emphasize that when we admit people. Once your probation is over, you are equal to anybody that has been there 50 years ago or 40 years ago.
That's awesome.
Let us maintain that.
That is very, very awesome.
And let us give the women, which we have done. Washington Tegloma has been very successful in doing that. We had a woman president before, and we still want a woman president. You know, female president. Because they bring people. They have a lot of friends. Then this fighting. Tegloma and Washington used to fight in the meeting hall. When things were going on, people were calling me, why don't you have found each other? Why don't you get involved? Why don't you get involved?
Okay.
As we wrap up tonight, I would like to ask you, gentlemen, Mr. Victor Tamo, your last word to listeners and viewers, please.
Yeah, I'm just asking everybody to come, sit tight, and enjoy.
Dr. John Sandi, the President, Washington, D.C. chapter, and the host of the 50th anniversary.
We are ready to welcome all of Tegloma in the nation's capital, the seat of the federal government, Washington, D.C.
Thank you very much. Mr. Michael George, who is the chairman of Federation Administration. What's your last word to the viewers and listeners, please?
Well, I just want to thank the committee, the 50th anniversary committee, and the host chapter for having done a very fantastic job so far. And I wish our traveling delegates safe journey to Washington and back. And I hope we're all going to have a good time with our founding fathers, because we're looking forward to having good time with them, talk to them, give us their fatherly advice, and also meet new friends, new people that are interested in Tegloma. We're going to have a lot of observers. Hopefully those observers will make up their mind to be a member of Tegloma in the chapter that they're coming from. So thank you again, Attila, for hosting us.
Thank you. Before I talk to the founding father, John, do you have the information for where the event is going to take place? Even if we don't have an address, but hotel.
Yes, I have the address. It is taking place at the Metro Points Hotel in New Carrollton, 8500 Annapolis Road in New Carrollton, Maryland. That's where the event is going to take place. We're going to be in the hotel, and then all the convention is going to take place right there same spot. So
And
our
that's on the 28th.
out of state guests do not have to travel around to find their way. So everything is going to take place in the hotel, Metro Points Hotel in Ukarati.
Metro Point Hotel from the 28th of August to the 30th of August.
31st
of August. 2025 is going to be an
Yes.
awesome time. Let me now turn it to the founding father. What's your last word to viewers and listeners, please, Mr. Sawi?
Yes. In Washington, D.C., there were problems. You know, this is usual. And I live here, all the other founding fathers, living in Israel. So people used to call me, why don't you intervene? Why don't you intervene? And I said, look, we have done more bad things in Tegloma, fighting, throwing chairs. But we all will come back because everybody loves Tegloma.
Yes.
Move the organization higher. So I'm not going to say anything because I was the only one that never fought physically, but everybody was fighting.
Okay.
And the point is,
the family fights and makes it up, right?
Yes, we will come back. We will come back and move the Tegloma. And that's happened many times in Washington. Yeah. Many times. So people call me, they say, why don't you? I say, look, this is not new. It will be over and everybody will come back. And they did. So that should not worry anybody. This is an organization where you have people. There is an incident going on right now. I'm so angry about it, about Mose. Mose should be organized. No, we should not spend $1,000 to defend Tegloma. We should just ignore it.
Tegloma Federation is having their 50 years this weekend coming up. Metro Point Hotel in London, Maryland, Washington, D.C. You want to be there. And it's been nice talking to the gentleman, Mr. Dr. Johnson D, Mr. Victor Tamor, Mr. Moinen Asawi, and Mr. Michael George. It's been great having you right here, This Time Africa, with me here. Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.